Imagine a structure so vast you could lay the Eiffel Tower flat inside it and still have room to spare. A colossus so heavy that moving it would require a fleet of C-5 Galaxy cargo planes flying in endless relays. In its heyday, it stood as a radiant symbol of West Berlin, a bold defiance hurled straight at the heart of the communist world. Inside, suspended auditoriums, soundproof walls, and architectural lines that seemed plucked from a sci-fi dream. Its construction cost, adjusted for today's dollars, soared past $1 billion, a material manifesto, a starship of its era. But today, it's little more than ruins, a billion-dollar ghost ship, adrift in the heart of modern Europe, forgotten, cold, and silent, like a memory too painful to name. Yet sometimes what's abandoned holds a value the world cannot ignore. The International Congress Center Berlin, ICC Berlin, is no longer just a relic of a faded ideological war. It's emerging as a new pawn in a global contest for influence, technology, and power. Why was this building created? Why was it abandoned? And most crucially, what's stirring it awake, placing it at the center of today's geopolitical storm? Join Top 10 Discoveries official as we step inside this slumbering spaceship and listen to the secrets still echoing through its deserted halls. In the late 1960s, the future of international conferences was taking off. Travel and economic experts agreed the number of global events would skyrocket in the decades ahead. For West Berlin, a city trapped deep within East German territory, this wasn't just an economic opportunity, it was a chance to carve out a place on the world stage. At the time, West Berlin's largest conference venue was the aging Congress Hall, affectionately dubbed the Pregnant Oyster, Schwangere Auster, by locals, located in the Tiergarten. With a capacity of just 1,200, it was woefully inadequate for the new standards of international gatherings. Meanwhile, just a few kilometers east, East Berlin unveiled the Palace of the Republic, Palast der Republik, in 1976, a lavish cultural nerve center of the communist regime, built with imported luxury materials and cutting-edge communication systems. West Berlin had to respond, but instead of erecting a purely political monument, the city chose a different path: to build the largest commercial and scientific conference center the world had ever seen. A symbol not only of freedom, but of organizational prowess, innovation, and global commerce. A stage for the world, right in the heart of a divided Germany. In 1975, construction began on the International Congress Center Berlin, ICC. Architects Ralph Schuler and Ursulina Schuler-Witte were tasked with designing a structure that would transcend all conventional benchmarks. From the outset, the ICC was envisioned as Europe's largest conference hub, serving both international and economic roles amid the Cold War. Initially planned to accommodate 4,000 people, over 3 times the capacity of the old Congress Hall, the project's ambitions grew during design and construction, ultimately enabling it to host up to 14,500. This wasn't just a big number, it was a declaration, a public challenge to any city daring to rival West Berlin on the global stage. Beneath its futuristic steel and glass lay very real economic hopes. A massive conference center would draw revenue from tourism, commerce, and international organizations, vital lifelines for a blockaded city like West Berlin. Every event hosted here meant thousands of hotel bookings, bustling restaurants, thriving retail, and a steady stream of foreign currency flowing into an isolated urban island. Above all, the ICC Berlin was a response in concrete and steel to the world. West Berlin was not isolated. The International Congress Center Berlin, ICC, was never just a conference venue. From its groundbreaking in 1973, its ambition stretched far beyond, to create an engineering marvel, a physical landmark embodying humanity's drive to transcend all limits. When it opened in 1979, the ICC became the most expensive building in West Berlin's history since World War II. Initially budgeted at 700 million Deutsche Marks, costs ballooned to over 900 million DM by completion. equivalent to more than $1 billion in today's dollars. In scale, the structure is colossal, 320 meters long, 80 meters wide, and 40 meters tall. Its usable floor space exceeds 200,000 square meters, dwarfing the Pentagon's conference areas alone. Over 45,000 tons of steel went into its construction, 6 times the amount used for the Eiffel Tower. Technologically, the ICC pioneered a building within a building concept, with its inner structure fully isolated from the outer shell. Clad entirely in shimmering silver aluminum, its exterior reflects light and creates an illusion of movement, making the building feel alive. This wasn't just visually striking, it was a technological statement. Modern materials, exposed structures, and function-first design. Inside, the ICC was a city unto itself, with 80 flexible meeting rooms and a total capacity of 14,500 seats. Its halls were ingeniously arranged, expandable or contractible to suit any event. The main auditoriums, Hall 1 and Hall 2, were suspended by massive steel beams, completely insulated from external vibrations, allowing multiple events to occur simultaneously without acoustic interference. Remarkably, the ICC's largest halls were hung in midair, supported by giant steel beams and tension cables, creating vast column-free spaces. A near unthinkable feat in the 1970s. Its connectivity was equally impressive, linking directly to the Messe Berlin Fairgrounds, the city's largest trade exhibition complex. Together, they formed a seamless mega venue capable of hosting tens of thousands without operational conflicts. Soundproofing posed another immense challenge. Built beside Berlin's busiest traffic hub, with hundreds of thousands of vehicles passing daily. The ICC's major halls were equipped with specialized mechanical dampers, isolating them from the foundation below. Its sound insulation reached over 65 decibels, rivaling modern professional recording studios. Beyond engineering, the ICC was a statement of technology and aesthetics. Its wayfinding system used dual-color neon lighting, red and green, to guide visitors through its labyrinthine expanse. This lighting doubled as a visual symphony, culminating in The Brain, a 3-story sculptural installation evoking neural networks and connectivity. At ground level, the ICC even featured a drive-in area, allowing cars to enter directly into the venue, a rare design flourish for its time. Upon its opening, the ICC wasn't just Europe's largest conference center, it was among the world's biggest event complexes. Its main halls could each hold over 5,000 people, with the entire facility accommodating more than 20,000 at once. In comparison, its usable floor space surpassed most NFL stadiums and nearly matched Chicago's McCormick Place, then America's largest convention center. From 1979 until its closure in 2014, ICC Berlin hosted thousands of events, from global conferences and large-scale theater productions to concerts and trade shows. In 2013 only, it drew about 100,000 international visitors, a remarkable feat amid fierce competition from other European cities. The ICC earned numerous accolades, including the 2013 World Travel Award for Leading Conference and Convention Center and the Supplier Award from the International Association of Professional Congress Organizers, APCO, recognizing its world-class logistics and event management. Beyond conferences, the ICC left its mark on pop culture, appearing in films like The Apple, 1980, and The International, 2009, and hosting a rare European performance by the legendary Grateful Dead in 1990. Amid its concrete and steel, the ICC was a relentless machine, a living testament to Berlin's organizational prowess, systemic thinking, and global stature. At its peak, ICC Berlin symbolized progress, prosperity, and boundless ambition. But like many man-made wonders, its glory didn't last forever. On April 9, 2014, the International Congress Center Berlin closed its doors. After 35 years as Europe's conference hub, the venue fell silent, leaving behind a massive husk of concrete, steel, and aluminum, quietly watching the world change around it. The official reason: asbestos contamination. Asbestos, widely used during construction for its fireproofing and insulation properties, had become a deadly hazard. Medical research linked prolonged exposure to lung cancer and severe respiratory diseases. With over 45,000 tons of steel and hundreds of thousands of square meters to inspect. Removing asbestos from the ICC wasn't just a renovation, it was a costly, protracted technical battle. Berlin's city government initially estimated remediation costs at 259 million euros. But as with the ICC itself, reality outstripped projections. Recent reports suggest the true cost could be far higher, plunging the project into a financial quagmire amid competing budgetary pressures. In the years following its closure, the ICC wasn't entirely forgotten. Rather than demolishing or fully abandoning it, the city repurposed the colossal asset temporarily. From 2015 to 2017, during Europe's largest migration wave since World War II, the ICC served as a refugee shelter, housing over 6,000 people under its vast roof, originally built for global summits. By late 2021, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, the ICC was transformed into a large-scale vaccination center from December 2021 to June 2022. Images of Berliners lining up for vaccines beneath the building's cold silver glow became a new symbol of a city adapting and enduring through turbulent times. Not all activity within the ICC was tied to crisis or tragedy. In October 2021, as part of the Berliner Festspiele's The Sun Machine is Coming Down project, the ICC briefly reopened to the public. Artists transformed its stark, industrial interior into a vibrant installation of light, sound, and motion, breathing new life into the sleeping giant. The event sold out rapidly, proving that even after nearly a decade of closure, the ICC retained immense cultural allure. In fall 2023, the ICC came alive again for 48 Hours ICC Berlin, a 48-hour event featuring performances, exhibitions, and immersive experiences. Tens of thousands flocked to the Silver Spaceship, with tickets selling out in hours, underscoring that the ICC has never truly faded from Berliners' consciousness. Today, the ICC remains shuttered, but its fate hangs in the balance. Berlin's government has launched an international tender, inviting investors and architects to propose redevelopment plans. The conditions: maintain public use, honor its heritage, and transform it into a vibrant part of 21st century Berlin. As Berlin cements its status as Europe's startup and tech hub, the race to revive the ICC isn't just about finance or urban planning. It's a contest to shape the future of a city and perhaps the continent itself. On the surface, the fate of the International Congress Center, Berlin ICC, might seem like the story of an outdated conference venue awaiting redevelopment. But beneath, it sits at the crossroads of geopolitical currents reshaping the continent. Berlin today is more than Germany's unified capital. It's the political heart of the European Union, the growth engine of the Eurozone, and a tech innovation hub spawning over 5,100 startups annually. In a post-globalization world, where supply chains are restructuring and economic power centers are shifting, Berlin is increasingly a focal point of subtle competition among the US, China, and Russia and Europe. The ICC, with its colossal scale and strategic location, has the potential to become a pivotal player in this game. A revitalized ICC could serve as an international conference platform, a high-tech exhibition hub, or even an economic diplomacy center for a new era in Europe. For example, the US, a reborn ICC, presents both opportunity and challenge. Berlin could attract more global conferences and innovation events, arenas traditionally dominated by American cities like San Francisco, New York, or Boston. As major tech conferences like Web Summit, Viva Tech, and Mobile World Congress become battlegrounds for influence among nations and multinationals, a venue like the ICC gives Berlin a strategic edge. If Berlin builds a conference tech investment ecosystem around the ICC, it could draw venture capital, tech startups, AI experts, and global corporations, reducing Europe's reliance on America's innovation system. A global conference hub in Berlin could also become a launchpad for new tech standards and digital policies not wholly shaped by Silicon Valley. For China, a revitalized ICC carries a different hue, a gateway to the European market and a competitive challenge. Beijing has heavily invested in initiatives like the Belt and Road and international forums in Asia and Africa to expand its soft power. A robust ICC in Berlin could curb China's reach in the EU market while providing a platform for the West to reinforce its values in innovation, clean tech, and cybersecurity. To China, a stronger Berlin means a more autonomous EU, potentially harder to divide in geopolitical negotiations. Berlin's rise is especially urgent as its chief rival in global events, London, grapples with Brexit's fallout. Paris, meanwhile, is constrained by high living costs and ongoing social tensions. Berlin, with its central geography, robust transport infrastructure, and relatively low operating costs, is emerging as the prime candidate for continental Europe's conference and tech hub. As geopolitical tensions between the West and adversaries like Russia and China intensify, owning a venue like the ICC, capable of hosting summits, economic forums, defense tech exhibitions, or international security dialogues, gains unprecedented strategic value. A properly revived ICC would not only showcase Berlin's organizational prowess, but also serve as a stage for Europe to shape a unified response to new global challenges. Thus, the tender to redevelop the ICC is more than a multi-million euro real estate deal. It's a race to control a symbol, a tool of soft power, and a critical geopolitical asset for the future. Whoever holds the key to reviving the ICC will hold a significant stake in Berlin's future, and by extension, Europe's. After nearly a decade in dormancy, ICC Berlin is poised for a new journey. No longer just a conference center, this colossal structure is being reimagined as a hub for culture, art, creativity, and technological innovation, a hybrid of past and future. Since September 2019, the ICC has been recognized as a city-level cultural heritage site and listed among Germany's architecturally significant landmarks. Yet preservation doesn't mean stagnation. Berlin knows that to truly revive the ICC, it must infuse it with a new soul suited to the 21st century. Rather than selling it off or converting it into a purely commercial project, the city has launched an open tender, seeking the world's most creative investors and designers. Berlin is hosting an international competition to find the best redevelopment plan for the ICC. The winning bidder will lease the ICC rent-free for 99 years, provided they renovate it, maintain its public use, and transform it into a vibrant community space. The submission period runs from May 16, 2025 to July 29, 2025, with detailed requirements. Proposals must demonstrate financial feasibility, cultural vision, technical restoration expertise, and a commitment to sustainability. The tender decision is expected in summer 2026, a milestone eagerly awaited not only by Berlin, but also by global architecture, tech, and innovation communities. The envisioned ICC will host digital tech forums, international startup fairs, clean tech exhibitions, and annual electronic arts festivals, aiming to position Berlin as continental Europe's top innovation hub by 2030. It will be a global stage for exhibitions, conferences, tech forums, and digital art festivals, a space where new ideas are born, tested, and scaled, right in the heart of a city rising as Europe's innovation capital. The ICC's future is more than an urban planning project. It's a litmus test for Berlin's and Europe's ability to transform last century's monumental relics into vibrant platforms for this century. In a rapidly changing world where technology and culture are new battlegrounds, the revival of this silver beast in Berlin's heart will declare that while the past shaped this city, the future will propel it into orbit. The ICC's story is being written daily. As Berlin stands at a new threshold, the world is watching, not just to see how a weathered silver structure can be reborn, but how a city, a continent, and perhaps a piece of the world's future will be redefined. What about you? Are you following Berlin on this journey? If you were in charge, what would you turn the ICC into for the 21st century? A global tech hub, an electronic arts theater, or a stage for the next creative revolutions? Share your ideas in the comments below. Top 10 Discoveries Official will return with more breathtaking discoveries, monumental projects, and untold stories from around the globe. Goodbye for now, and see you soon.